Hi, everybody. New Gods and Challengers of the Unknown. Number 5. Both number 5. The New Gods promises the Justice League, and all you get is Superman. But they're keeping their promise next issue. I'm sure. Light Ray dies, but he will be part of the Source Wall. He'll be part of the first big fight, I'm sure. They show like a flashback of him as a child. At first, I told Mom he was reading a comic. It might be Metron remembering. But the art suddenly changes to present day, and you know that Light Rays, something's going down with him. They pick up with the fight from last issue. I still think that if they were to do this on screen, it would rival those old films you see from World War II. It'd be that. It'd be hard to not do and make it seem extremely intense, very cinematic. DC All Access kind of has me picking up a lot right now, but I've decided I'm going to pick up this one. No matter what, no matter if Darkseid does come back and there's some stupid ending. I will pick up New Gods, the New Gods, to see how it ends. I want to see how it leads into the Marvel DC crossover. Just call it a hunch. Speaking of the all an event, it's time once again to talk about the Challengers of the Unknown. I wanted to save this for the thoughts and speculations portion of the video, or do an entirely separate video on it, but I kind of feel I have to tell you where I think this is headed. I mean, as a storyline, because they're part of the same storyline. If you look, just like Shazam was part of the same storyline. My thought, first of all, Skeets clearly saves Rocky of the Challengers, but then that draws in further questions based on that assumption. That's why assuming sucks, kids. Is it evil Skeets? Which Rip has programmed him this time? It's like how in the Challengers, the Justice League satellite explodes. We don't know if this the, the Justice League from the New Gods is the same Justice League, and if so, how far back or how far forward are they in their timeline? Where does this fit in for them? We don't know. That's the pity with the All-In storyline. They'll bring in one thing and like leave it and like hope the next guy picks it up. Like how in the Shazam, somebody freed Mr. Mind from Rapunner's lab. Somebody freed Mr. Mind. We don't know who freed Mr. Mind. We just know he is free. And somehow he ends up with Dr. Sylvana's daughter, which captures him again. So that's where he's currently at. But like, it could be Evil Skeets in this. We don't know because we don't know where it takes place in the timeline. Correlation in correlation with one another versus in correlation with classic stories like 52. That's why in the other video I said that I was thinking about picking up Sonic, meeting meeting the Justice League because we don't know how this fits in, that fits in with the rest of Darkseid's invasion. We just know there is a massive invasion going on right now. Not to get super nerdy, but yeah, that's what's going on with the DC universe. That's kind of my problem right now. It's not as bad as with the Dark Crisis, where they made Pariah evil, and that was just confusing. That whole era. I'm glad I was able to pick it up again, but it is pretty just finding its footing, and I hope it really sinks landing to wherever they're going. Both books get a 4 for that reason. That I'd like to know how they fit in with one another. I mean, I personally believed, getting back to Skeets, that Skeets is not in his final form. In my fan fiction, I called it Project 51. What Rip was working on the whole entire time. And he becomes something called Man 52. What they're gonna end up calling it, I don't know. That's how the whole Suicide Squad thing with Skeets, them having a model of Skeets fits in. It's all Project 51. Um, Again, not to get really nerdy, but I appreciated the fact that Skeets is probably looking for his buddy, assuming that it's good Skeets now. If it's good Skeets, He's gonna find Booster in no time, and he's gonna alert the Justice League. I mean, right as the explosion happened, they point out the hole. So that's what makes me think that he just saved Rocky. Sometimes the most simple answer is the best. After all this complex shit I'm bringing up, you can probably forget about. But I would still like Resurrection Man to be in the New Gods book. I want that guy in the very beginning to be Resurrection Man. He himself, don't get me started. I still have to finish that whole what I started at the beginning of the channel with Resurrection Man. But that, needless to say, that's another book I'm thinking about picking up. If it is Resurrection Man, though, I'll be very surprised. Honestly. I think it's going to end up being like a Three Jokers scenario where we have something cool and then they forget about it. And then some other guy comes along, like I already said. I really want to do more thoughts and speculations on it, but I'll save that for another time. I've been Bob. This has been The Other World According to Bob. These were both really... Wait. Spider Boy.
I already did this one. There's a Spider Boy.
You're right. We'll do it. We'll do it in another part of the video. Stay tuned. I forgot I had to do this. Bob out. Spider Boy 18. Can I help you?
Yeah.
Best Spider-Man in years. And it's the Spider Boy. I absolutely agree with Mike Spider Slayer on this one. Which, by the way, as far as I can tell, he and I are the only two here on YouTube reviewing this. More people should be reading this book. Y'all are really missing out. This story, for example, elaborates on something that always bothered me from Brand New Day. The origin of Mr. Negative. And his goons, the Inner Demons. And Bailey finds himself in some serious stuff. That's all I'll say about the end of it. And Mom was all like, they're not gonna kill the kid, right? And I was like, I don't know. Because Madam Monstrosity, at the very beginning of this book, turned herself into a dragon. I thought for sure she was coming back. Remember that? And And the only appearance she's made so far is in the flashback in this book, so it might stick if they. I doubt it, but this book, when they do things, they tend to do things for permanent. I wonder what the price Madam Web spoke of is, and why Madam Web was interested in Chasm, and what that has to do with this book. It was nice that you guys explained in that flashback why those keys are relevant. That was real nice of you. I still won't be picking up the main book. That was a flashback too.
We couldn't figure out
Couldn't-
exactly which one it was.
Yeah, we couldn't figure that out. So,
They referenced
that again, I enjoyed that it was in a flashback. Thanks to you guys. It's it's not as great as, say, addressing what happened to the other kids in Bailey's class or the Halifino. Remember Halifino?
that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's off
He's
camera.
He's part of Street. And they could bring those animals back in because his mom is going between Street and the homeless.
And that's another thing. They didn't bring in his brother. If they're gonna say him and his brother are two separate entities, which they're not. They're one kid. If they're gonna say they're two separate entities, at least treat whatever his name is like his brother, Boy Spider. But I expected. It's only been one issue, Mom.
I know.
People need to be reminded that this. Okay. Stuff I liked about this issue, because I liked a lot. I liked that Mrs. Briggs doesn't know who Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
I liked that it felt like the Spider-Man video game from PS1, the real first Spider-Man. I liked that they explain why Madame Monstrosity and Mr. Negative were doing dealings in the first place. Like I said, I liked the convenience of this issue with the flashback. I liked that they explained why those guys wear masks. It took them years, but they finally did it. It's to hide their face from the experiments that Mr. Negative is conducting on them. For anyone that missed that. I like that it wasn't absolutely necessary to pick up the other Spider-Boy issues. But on the other hand, I hope it gets back to the main story soon. I give this book a 4 out of 5. What I would have done to make it better. And hopefully they will do. Is point out how special Bailey is from the very beginning. Not just, he wasn't chosen just because Madame Monstrosity and Mr. Negative made a bargain, and his mom and him were abducted. No, I think there's something more. But if I'm wrong, make that clear. It involve Bailey more in the regular Marvel world. I know there's a lot going on right now. Again, I'd love to see future Bailey. But those are minor nitpicks. This was a great issue. Best Spider-Man in years. Can you guys believe Mary Jane is Venom now? Anyway, like I said, a lot going on in the Marvel Universe. Catch me up. Tell me all these things. Discuss in the comments. I've been Bob. Like, comment, subscribe. Bob out. In this, I think that Skeets was controlling the death obsessed robot, not evil, the whole time. Like he had briefly hacked into the death obsessed robot and convinced him that Darkseid was bad and that he should help out the challengers one last time. And that's what led to some of the plot here. Like how Lothos hacks into Ziggy on Quantum Leap. Or like one of those anonymous hackings that happen in real life. You know, something like that. Just because it's an advanced computer doesn't mean it can't be hacked into, is my point. So, yeah. So, that's how I think Skeets is trying to save his buddy. The same reason that the button was put down in the button back in the Doomsday Clock arc. It was put there. We still don't know by who, but presumably Dr. Manhattan. To get Batman to ask questions. And I think the whole hacking into the robot was just to ask questions. It's a shame I lost interest in this series and didn't pick up issue 4. I'm one short. It's a shame that they didn't finish issue 6. Anyway, next time you see me, I'll be in a different shirt. It's been a long day.